Andrea, I know you are there, and I will podcast with you.
Sounded really creepy.
It's supposed to.
Okay, I'm excited.
Let's go. This is Eric,
This is Andrea.
and this is Hallmark Mysteries
And more.
and
You didn't do
more.
it with me. What the heck?
I came in after you.
Oh.
This podcast was created by fans for fans and is not affiliated with or sponsored by Hallmark or the Hallmark channel.
Well, what do you
Wow.
got for us this week, Eric?
What do I got for you?
Any news?
We had, I think, a pretty solid week of uh, Hallmark movies. Like
Christmas movies?
none of them were. I didn't think were stinkers. I thought,
I thought one was.
uh, I don't think so. The
Oh,
also the holidays. I was a little nervous about that one, and I tell you
that's
what,
great.
I was laughing hysterically the entire time. Like the first two were so good that I was like, okay, it's going to be a letdown. They're switching families, they're switching directors, and didn't miss a beat. It
No,
was
it's really good.
hilarious. Like there were so many times I was literally laughing out loud. I'm sitting there at the breakfast bar by myself, just eating my blueberries, cracking up. So it was great. We're going to be talking about the final episode of Mystery Number Two, which
Yeah.
I have some thoughts about.
Ooh.
And then lots of news out there. We've been talking about how great Hallmark Plus programming is, and they dropped a bomb.
I
The Way
did.
Home.
Move into Hallmark Plus, so I'm for sure going to make you watch it again. And we'll have to do our little segments on it because it's something that I actually like more than you. So I really have a lot of joy in that now, having been with you for a year and knowing that usually you are much higher than me. So I for sure am making you watch that.
So you have thoughts? What do you think about that decision?
Mm. So here are my totally just speculation. I feel like this is just like the Minnesota Timberwolves basketball team. There's some great where there's smoke, there's fire. This is what's happening. So I feel like for them to kind of put this on there, I feel like there's something brewing that we will find out next year. Either they're going to completely eliminate Hallmark mystery and drama channels and just stick with Hallmark channel and just be pumping. The streaming service is just going to be where all the mysteries lie and any series, except for When Calls the Heart. That's what I feel like they are priming us for. I still am worried about mysteries because we're not getting consistently a ton of them. I do know we have some coming, in 2025 or rumored to have be coming in 2025. But I am a little worried about what's happening. So just like the Minnesota Timberwolves, there was smoke. They were like, "Hey, there's some fighting going on," and then all of a sudden, this is why maybe I was so hard on a novel Noel, which was my pick for the weekend. I had the Timberwolves game on, and let me tell you, they imploded. They like were fighting on court. There was more drama in the Timberwolves basketball game between our own team than there was in the movie. And so I'm watching our team implode. And so hence why I really didn't like a novel Noel, I think because the game was happening and we have some infighting happening. And that there was rumors circulating around that. So I feel like it's very similar to what's happening with Hallmark is where there's smoke, there's fire. It's going to come out. I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like there's something a brewing.
Well,
You're
Hallmark
looking stuff up. So what are you thinking?
Well, Hallmark, I saw this in the some of the Hallmark news and those feeds, and so now that you say that, they just recently named this dude, um, Jesse Wallace, as the head of distribution. The former Google and NFL network will be tapped to take over distribution, and he had stints at the NBA as vice president of global media distribution,
Interesting.
Viacom, Disney, ESPN. So they're bringing in this heavy hitter. So maybe your
Interesting.
little
My
like
theory is right.
something's going on. Something's
There's
going
some
on.
Thank you. This is what I'm telling when people send me DMs. These are the inside thoughts of Andrea that I share with people freely in my DMs. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to share it on the podcast. Again, this is totally me speculating. I know nothing. But I just feel like there is smoke happening. And again, my Timberwolves are proving me right. When you think something's a brewing, and it's going to bubble over, and we will find out in 2025. That's my guess.
Jesse's proven track record in driving innovative distribution strategies and forging strategic partnerships will be invaluable as we navigate this evolving media landscape.
Mm-hmm.
We are excited to have him on our team. So, two things jump out: the innovative,
Yep.
evolving landscape and strategic partnerships.
I mean, Peacock. I think
All
that's
right.
a strategic partnership. And Netflix for that matter. I mean, yeah, I think this is the way. And I know people, I also had a lot of people, because when I had shared that in my on my stories, I did have people saying, ugh, I'm not happy. I don't want to pay for another streamer. And I get it. I totally get it. But I feel like this is the way of, I think this is just going to be the way of the future. And so whatever network you like. So for me, I do like the Bravo network, but Peacock has it. So I don't have to subscribe to anything because I it's under the Peacock umbrella, which is also where I get my Murder She Wrote. So I'm very like Peacock is something I will not get rid of because I enjoy those. Hallmark for me, I'm not going to get rid of Hallmark Plus. Could I take or leave Netflix and Hulu? Yes. Like, I mean, I think that this is the choices that I think we're going to end up making of like, where do you watch the most TV? Like, and that's going to be your decision. And obviously, if you have kids, there's going to be that factor in there as well. But I think it's going to be an interesting change, I feel, in the next few years for TV in general.
Oh, completely. And if anyone needs some financial advice on how to afford the streaming services, I am here for you.
We know not to go to you. Oh,
I will have you affording all the services.
I mean, again, you can get it from the library. Like they have the
That's
free pass there too.
that's what we saw.
That's my advice.
Well, you ready to discuss last week's movies?
Yeah, we already kind of hinted. My pick, the novel Noel, was just this is my. It's honestly Five Rings is my least favorite. Novel Noel is my second to least favorite this year. I did not like it at
Wow,
all.
that
So
much?
yeah, this is what I told. I sent you a message. I said, you know what? My picks. Nobody listened to my most excited for picks. They just throw those all in the trash. They're horrible. That's what I've come to my own conclusion.
Uh,
So what did you think of it? You didn't mind it.
well, no, I didn't mind. Well, mixed emotions. I thought it started out pretty rough. I did not like the way she came in and was insulting his shop and like getting all snobby about having wine. And he's like, I'm doing what I have to do to stay in business. And she just was total snob. And he kind of was standoffish, which I guess I could understand based on her. But a frenemy or like enemy to lover type thing when you're supposed to be working together, like you're bringing in this person to work for free, I guess, for a month and all that. I
Yeah.
thought it was a weird start, a
Premise.
weird
Yeah.
premise. But
Yeah.
I will say Julie Gonzalo from maybe a third of the way on, maybe a little bit further. I thought she was just delightful. I really liked her character. I liked the way her character evolved. I really loved the ending when it turned out that her best friend had died and she was, doing all this stuff sort of in honor of her, doing the bingo, texting her, calling, leaving the voicemails. Like that was a really interesting
Did you
surprise.
not? Oh, so that was a surprise for you.
I didn't pick up on that.
I
And
did right
then
away. I go, I just the
uh
usually because they usually will have them have some sort of FaceTime. So as soon as they didn't have the friend on, I'm like, oh, I bet she's died.
yeah, I totally missed
Sleuthing
that part.
skills, Eric's. And I was
Yes.
half paying attention with the Timberwolves.
And then I also the thing I kind of liked about it was that I was expecting her, oh, I'm going to give up my career and come back and run this little store together. I like the fact they allowed her to go back to New York, be her powerful executive, be the strong woman, that she was, and not be back, oh, I'm going to come to the little small town and do all this. So I really liked that aspect of it. So, and I'll tell you what, bangs are a hard sell, and she pulled them off. So kudos to you, Julie, because many a Hallmark stars have failed in the bangs. So there's all that. So it wasn't great. I thought there were some really nice moments in it, but overall, I would not say it was like a great movie. But like I say, it definitely had good, solid moments.
Well, Christmas on Call was the next one, and I was trying to look through my list to see. I feel like this might have been my one that I was least looking forward to. Um,
I
and
was
boy, oh
not.
boy, was this a surprise. This was my favorite of the weekend. I loved this movie. I felt like this had more heart than, we haven't had a lot of the Hallmark mystery. Sometimes those are the ones that tear jerkers and pull at you. And I was bawling at the end. Like my son came into my office and he was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "This just sounds like a movie." Oh, I loved the scene. I thought, I mean, it just all worked for me. And I loved the storytelling of the different, how we blended the EMTs into the, police officers, into the hospital. And I think there was an article, that Georgia had sent us or sent to me about this could be a spinoff. And
Yeah.
100%, like this could be a great spinoff that Hallmark could do on Hallmark Plus because I loved all of the characters that they showed. I think they are great actors. I would love to see the story evolve. And just as I think your complaint was there wasn't enough with the leading couple. And I didn't expect, I guess, a ton when they were trying to move through that quickly. But this is where I feel like it does lend itself well to, hey, there's something more here.
And like with that, I just thought they were just doing a little too much. The whole one with the kid who lost his dad's and I'm going off to college, like they could have cut that out. That would have just given a couple more minutes to just dive a little more into the main characters, probably. And it wasn't really, I don't think it added too much to where we were going. I agree with you. I love the fact where they had the different stories. In fact, the police, was it Sanjay and Danielle, I think. They actually, I may have liked them more than the leads, and I liked the leads, don't get me wrong, but they were like so funny,
They were.
the way they were sort of bickering, and I knew right from the get-go that yes, he was texting the wrong number. So I may have not got that dude whose friend
There you
was
go.
dead,
I didn't
but
get that one. So there.
I did was like, okay, it was a definite, mix up on that. I would say this. So the funny thing is, I was talking to Peter Beasley, the director, about this beforehand because he's like, all right, I'm going to be real interested to see what you think. He sent me the trailer, and I'm like, I don't know, dude. This trailer of just her walking, to the music, nothing else going on. And I'm like, is this going to resonate with? They're already. You read the Hallmark description, which we know the descriptions are very misleading, and that's all we have to go on. I'm like, you have a really boring description. Now you have this one where she's just walking,
And the movie poster
with
wasn't that exciting.
nothing going on. I'm like, are you just going to alienate where people are going to be like, I'm not watching this. This looks too boring.
Yeah.
I thought I liked the trailer. I thought it was nice. It was not what we see from Hallmark because there was no love. Didn't show any other characters, didn't show the two leads, just showed her. Um, I will say I think this is going to be this year's Norwegian holiday, right?
Hmm.
The movie
Secret of the
which
year. Yeah.
no one saw coming
Yeah.
and turns out to be one of the best movies of the year.
Yeah. I agree. It's my number three right now. Then of course we're coming on to the three wiser men and a boy, not a baby, a boy.
I keep saying
Um,
that same.
I wrote that down. I see in my recap. Well, for me, I this landed how I thought it was. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I wasn't expecting this to be better than the first. I didn't think it was for myself. I know some people did enjoy this one better than the first. Um, I thought it was just on par. I loved the person who played opposite of Tyler Hines. Did you know the actress's name?
Aaron Carpluck.
Oh my gosh. I thought those two together
I
were
Are you ready
fire
though? I've got my
chemistry.
trivia for her.
Ooh, what?
She's Jules' BFF in um, Fixer Upper Mysteries.
She looked familiar, and I was like, man, I don't know where I've seen her.
So, and we
She
both love
was
Fixer Upper, so
she was so good. I thought those two together, the way they mirrored and like
agree.
she brought the energy where I feel like not a lot of leading ladies can match with Tyler. Oh boy, she can. Like those two together in a rom-com. Yes, like sign me up. Like those two, she doesn't even have to act like him, like how she kind of mirrored him in this movie, but like just starring with him. She can bring it. So I would love to see that. So that for me was a big standout. And again, it was funny. I mean, there was some fun, quirky. Of course, those three together are going to bring a great movie. So it worked for me. I know you're not as high on it as I am. So I'd be curious to hear what are your thoughts?
Well, I liked in just like you said, it was exactly what we were expecting. I enjoyed like last year, I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite. In fact, I don't think it made my top 10, but I totally enjoyed it. This one, I totally enjoyed. I agree with you. I love the fact she was like Tyler's character, but the best version of Tyler's character because she had the confidence with who she was. And she's sucking the candy cane there, and she was able to call him on his BS. And so I really liked that. So sue me. Once again, I loved her in the first one, and in this one, she didn't have the hugest role, but I really liked how she was basically once again able to
And that's who
call,
played Paul Campbell's
yeah,
fiance
Sue,
or
right.
girlfriend. Girlfriend.
And I loved the way that she was pretty much able to call him on his stuff too. So it was really great. I like I said in my review, doing the sugar plum, I think they kind of just like, oh, everyone loved it, so we're gonna just throw it in. I think I would have been happy without it or coming up with something different with their kid. I thought it was just like, hey, we're giving this to the fans because whatever we have to. So it felt a little dialed in um, to me in that aspect. So I don't know. I'd like to say it was a good quality, above average movie with some really good writing, a lot of great humor in it, and like we said, the Tyler and I forget what her actual character's name was, but they were fantastic, fantastic in this.
I
And the
feel like
kid
this
was
is
not. They had a
annoying.
bunch of little kids. They were not terrible, right? It could have been much worse, and I was expecting it to be worse, and they were not terrible. So that's pretty much all I can ask for, especially a movie about kids.
Well, I feel like this is the year of dance in Hallmark in general because this next movie, To Have and to Holiday, they also had some dance scenes in here. So I feel like they're really throwing dance in there as an element in pretty much, I would guess 75% of these movies because The Groomsmen had a dance, Jingle Bell Run had dance. I mean, I feel like that's kind of a theme that we're seeing. To Have and to Holiday was your pick of the weekend. And for myself, I didn't really know what to expect because again, the poster didn't look the greatest. I hadn't seen any previews and the description sounded and it was really good. I gave this one 4 stars as well. I thought it was cute. A very classic. I think if you want some of the older Hallmark movies with just kind of that predictable nature to it, I feel like this would hit the bill. I enjoyed the dad. Some I think thought he was a little over the top, kind of like the Sings dad, but I thought he was great. And I mean, that's what he was supposed to do, I think, in this movie. And someone else had said a father of the bride type of feel to it. And yeah, I can totally see that as well. So for me, this one actually, it worked quite well. So kudos to your pick, but I still, for myself, Christmas on Call was the 5 star of the weekend for me. So drum roll, is this your pick
I'm
for the weekend?
No, I'm with you. Christmas and Call was
What?
better. I will say though,
Wow.
Madeline Arthur, I thought she, right, like I told you, that's why I wanted to see it, right? I
Yeah,
loved her
she
in
was great.
the 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a ghost. And I was really excited to see her. She proved she is ready to be in that, give her 1, 2 movies a year kind of thing. She shone.
She
Shined?
shined.
Shined. She shone. She shined. She was fantastic. And Kate Drummond, I love Kate Drummond. She
Yes.
was great as the mom.
I liked Eric
I
Close too.
I think
Did you
I'm
not?
a little bit more in the I think he came across a little too much,
Oh.
but also I was expecting like the fiance boyfriend, like there was some weirdness that like I didn't quite get, but I was expecting him to be kind of annoying and I looked at it as like, oh, I don't know, he just doesn't look leading Manny to me or whatever. But I thought he did great, and I thought they had great chemistry between the two of them, and I really enjoyed it. I think there was something in the editing for me. That's what really brought it down. And you even mentioned in your review how you could zone out for a little while and come right back in.
I
Like
did do
some of the
that.
scenes seemed a little rushed. Other scenes seemed drawn out.
Longer.
And I there's something just for me that was off with the editing.
Okay. I can see
So,
that.
and that's
Yeah,
why,
I
like I
wanted
said,
more of the parents. I thought that was the towards the end of the movie when the parents came in and like acted like kids and like I
right.
loved that. That could have been a more drawn out than they had that. So I would agree with
I
that.
love the juxtaposition of
Yeah.
his like parents are like totally like we buried after 2 days and way to go. And well, the mom was on board, but the dad obviously was struggling. But also as a dad, I
That's what I
kind
was just
of
gonna say.
I will
Yeah.
say I did get choked up, and at the end there, like I will say probably most dads when it was happening at the wedding were like getting some emotional going on. So
Mm.
the like for example, like the ring, when she's like all showing like, oh, my ring, they didn't really explain. Like, I was like, wait, isn't she still wearing her mother-in-law's to be's ring? Like, what's going on? Why is she talking? They're all talking about the ring. Then at the very end, she's like, oh, yeah, my ring came faster than we thought. Like, it was just a weird thing that they had a bunch of scenes before they explained it. So I don't know. The editor, I think I need to have one of these super rich hot chocolates with him and discuss what it was going on. I think he had the
Oh.
spiked eggnog, not the virgin eggnog.
Well, let's see if the viewers also agreed with us. So here's kind of the weekend recap from my poll. Now
You
this
know
was
what's going
only
to
a
win just because the stars, I don't know what it is, but
we'll find out.
star-studded wins over.
Now, again, this is only 12 hours in. This actually could tip. That would be my guess, actually, by the time I post the actual results, because it's very close. So, Novel Noel got 10% of the votes. Christmas on Call got 42%. Three Wiser Men and a Boy,
Is that
45%.
close?
And To Have into Holidays just at 3%. And I will say, I think it's probably that low because I'm doing these on Monday, and so some people have not watched To Have into Holiday. But I was surprised. Yeah, Christmas on Call and Three Wiser Men are within a couple votes of each other. That's why I said this could tip. And some people hadn't watched Christmas on Call. A lot of people actually, when I posted it was a 5-star, people are like, "Oh my gosh, thank you," because now I'm going to actually watch it. Because a lot of people, I think, we're going to skip it. And so
Oh,
I'm guessing
totally.
I'm guessing there's going to be people who go back and watch because it's getting so
I,
many good reviews.
like I said, I told even then I'm like uh to Jeff Beasley, who I like his movies, and I'm fortunate where like I have conversation with him like, dude, I'm not excited for this one. He's like, give it a go, give it a go. And he kept telling me, and I'm like, I'm not seeing it, not seeing it. And lo and
Yeah,
behold, it was. And I sent him your review and I
loved it
said,
so
it's good. And then Harder Reviewers or Harder Hallmark, she gave it like 9.8 or something. She gave it some really great review as well. So I sent there, I'm like, okay, the people are speaking. And like I say, it's a Norwegian holiday, right? A lot of people skip it, as you're saying,
yeah.
and then the word of mouth gets out, and then they're like, "Oh wait, I heard it's good," and they give it a watch. I'm like, "Yeah, this is good."
Well, speaking of this is good. We are getting a lot of movies coming at us this week. So as this is airing, obviously, well, happy Thanksgiving, everyone, if you're listening to it on Thanksgiving Day. But Wednesday movie, which would have aired last night, Christmas Under the Lights. So hopefully we enjoyed that. That one was on the Mystery Channel. That's the only one airing on the Mystery Channel this coming week. Thursday, we have Debbie McComer's Joyful Mrs. Miracle. So that's what's airing tonight. Friday, the 5 p.m. movie, A 90s Christmas. Friday, the 7 p.m. movie, Deck the Walls. Saturday, the 5 p.m. movie, Believe in Christmas. Saturday, the 7 p.m. movie is The Holiday Touchdown, A Chief's Love Story. And these are all Central Time. Sorry. Sunday, the 5 p.m., The Finish Line. And Sunday, the 7 p.m., The Christmas Quest. And that is the Christopher Palaha and Lacey Chabert movie. Woo! What a list. My top pick for the whole thing was A 90s Christmas. And it is a 5 p.m. movie. So you know what? That means it's probably not very good. So I am going to pick for my choice deck the walls. No, I don't know. I can't do that. Oh gosh, there are so many great. I mean, I'm excited for a good chunk. Actually, really, I'm excited for all of these. I mean, except for the finish line. Of these movies, that's the one I'm least looking forward to. The rest, I really am excited to watch every single one of them because The Christmas Under the Lights is on a ranch. So hopefully last night's movie was great and I gave it a good review as I'm talking about it before I've watched it. But as you listen, I've probably posted my review. So hopefully that lived up to my expectations. But I guess a Chief's love story. I mean, like they've promoted this so much. This has all of the this could lose big time. I really hope it's good. I really hope that they put all their eggs in that basket and it's a winner. What is your pick for the week?
Tell you what, man, I love me time travel, so I'm going the 90s. 90s Christmas.
Now watch the one movie on my list actually lives up to my list expectation.
But I will say Kim Matula, bit I've loved everything she's been in so far. I know you didn't like checking it twice like I did last year, but Kim
That's
Matula, I
fine.
love her. She's in the finish line. I kind of get a little bit of obviously our Norwegian holiday, my Norwegian holiday from it.
The
It's got
5
some
p.m. starts
dog,
are the ones that
it's
give
got
me the
some dog
question though.
racing going on. So,
Why would you waste a 5 p.m. start on a
and
really good
well, because
movie?
you've got, I mean, come on, Christopher Plaha and Lacey. You
Well,
know
and
where
they're
they're
at
going.
7 up. Yeah.
The
And
Tyler and Hunter, you know those ones are
we'll
going.
deck the walls then on Friday night to be the set. I mean, I guess that's Wes Brown and Ashley Green. So I'm looking
Ashley
forward to
Green
that
though
too.
is not Hallmark royalty, so
I love if you watch Twilight, she is
but she's not
royalty.
like from Hallmark World,
No, but I love
In
Wes
West
Brown.
Brown.
Wes
But
Brown is one of
so
my favorite leading men.
I think I think Finish Line I think is going to end up being cute. I don't know how I'm going to watch all these, like you say, two a day. Um, but we have
Over the holiday.
responsibility to Hallmark Society.
On top of all of the stuff that comes out on Thursday, holidays and
I, so I have to
Finding Mr.
digress.
Christmas,
So
our show, Mistletoe Murder.
I'm hiring a graphic designer at work, and one of the questions I always ask in my interviews is, "What are you binging?" And so she answered the question, blah blah blah, and then she's like, "What are you binging?" And I'm like, um,
You say Mistletoe
"Well,
Murder?
I do a Hallmark podcast, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on right now." And she's like, "I did not see that coming."
That's awesome. Hey,
By the
people
way,
tell me that all the time too. They're like, "What?
she's
You know,
she's from Minnesota, from Henderson or something like that. She
wait,
says
how do
kind of
you
like
spell
outside of
that?
Minneapolis, rural.
Yeah, I was like, that's not a big town.
Okay,
Just you're just putting her out on blast.
so
Jeez.
well, there we go.
Oh, well, actually, can I share this hot take from my 8-year-old? So
Okay,
he likes to kind of watch Finding Mr. Christmas with me. Like I usually have that on, and like they have fun games, and they're the guys.
right.
And he took an acting class, and so this was his hot take, which I will say, you know what, Jalen, my son's name is Jalen. He's like, I think this might come true. He goes, do you think that the final movie they're gonna have probably little roles for all these other guys? And I said, Jalen, I hadn't even thought of that, but I think you're right, buddy. I think they
That
are. That's
is.
really good.
I have to
So
say, I
you
think
heard
you
it
and I
here
are getting
first.
replaced, and
I
he's
know
coming
my
in and
8-year-old's coming
hosting.
on. I was like, okay. So that is I think that's a good it's a good guess by his on his part. So I bet we might see some of these guys in little roles on the movie, which make it even that much more fun. Because if you watched Finding Mr. Christmas, you want to see him in a little, little side role. So we'll
All right.
see.
Well, all I can say,
Ready?
let's we have to get talking about our reason why we're here, but I will just hit on Finding Mr. Christmas is I'm glad Parker went. I think
Yeah.
he only came back because they needed two people teams
For
for
this.
that event, but he did not do well. And
No,
Jonathan, who we both like,
I know. He
he
didn't do
did
great
not do well
either.
either.
And wasn't super self-aware about it, which was also like, oh, buddy.
Yeah, we're both
I'm a
pulling
little
for him,
worried.
but
I'm a
a,
little worried for him.
a lot, Elijah, what's
I
his
do like
name?
Elijah.
Elijah. He He was one of
I
my
like,
favorites too.
and Blake. Those are
And
my other two picks, Elijah and Blake. The
I think
country.
no, Blake's horrible. He's my least. I
Oh,
want him
I
to go. I would have
don't
kept
like him.
Parker. All right, let's talk
Oh, really?
Mistletoe Murders. Can't
I'm
talk this
disappointed
anymore.
now. I'm
I can't listen to this
disappointed.
nonsense.
Okay, well, wait till you.
Mistletoe Murders.
I don't think he's going to win, but I think Elijah's going to win. Okay, here's the recap. Peril of the Bells, Part 2. When the choir attacks escalate, Emily and Sam grow closer as they work together to find the culprit. Emily helps Violet out of a precocious situation by tapping into her dark past. The ending choir tackle scene and Sam and Emily's conversation, where she opens up to him. That seemed like a really weird sentence, but that was what Hallmark had.
That is a very weird recap.
Oh, that was right off the Hallmark site. So, what did we like? Eric, you go ahead and kick us off this week.
All
What'd
right.
you like?
I will say the choir, obviously it's a continuation, but the choir aspect of it, I just thought it was a great sort of, I don't know what you want to call it, backdrop to a mystery. So absolutely loved it. Great job, Ken, coming up with this as being your list of suspects are all choir members. Thought it was really cute. The mystery itself, I thought it was fun. I did
Don't say what
know
you
who it
don't like. Save that.
was. Say I did know who it was last episode, and it proved I was right who the culprit was.
Oh,
I'm glad Violet fessed up and Emily handled it exactly like I expected. I thought that was a really cute, you know, building of their relationship. I think it could have happened earlier, but I'll get into the need of it, I guess, in our next section. And then what an ending from Emily saving Brooke, in the middle of the performance to Emily and Sam's touching, little scene together where she became vulnerable to the cliffhanger computer message at the beginning, which, by the way, I hope you got when our little intro. This is what I was referring to.
I did.
Okay.
I watched this one 3 times. So, um, yeah, I agree with everything, that you had said. I liked that Emily and Sam's relationship at the end, that conversation, I think it was really needed in this episode to kind of see them progress together. So I think it wasn't forced. It didn't feel, sometimes they feel forced in some of the other mysteries or even just movies in general. And I thought this unfolded really well, especially in the way that she kind of pondered and hemmed and hawed. Should I tell him? Should I not? Yep, let me open up to him. I enjoyed the choir aspect where she got to sit down and have one-on-ones with different choir members. I think that was really great because again, if this eventually, I don't know if it will, but like when I think about my favorite series, that we do get to know some of these side characters. And for us to be invested, you have to have some of these, dialogues with, hey, let's sit at the diner and get to know all of these different people, even, the diner owner, Sue, let's chat with her. So that way we can become invested in these people. I also liked that Ray was back. So I thought he was not going to be in this, middle episodes, and he came back for a little insight and into Lance and his background. And I liked how they kind of wrapped that up as well with Lance and had that conversation. So
All right.
for me, all of that, I mean, I it worked again. Like, so I really was invested in all the pieces. I will say I did have to watch it twice to catch, because usually the first time I'm watching it early in the morning, I'm trying to watch it before I usually teach a really early morning Thursday yoga class. And so I'm trying to watch it before I have to go teach. And so I miss some of the things. Like I missed Lance's whole part where he doesn't prefer women. And I was like, oh, that's why that made sense in this. I missed pretty much the whole killer, like what happened, the whole ending scene. I was like, who did it? Like, what happened? I'm a little confused at that. So I had to watch it again. And then I caught some of those dialogue. And then watching a third time, they lay breadcrumbs to that. So if you really listen to some of the lines that they say, you're like, oh, okay. They really they led us there. But if you weren't, I mean, I think it took 3 times for me to catch some of those little breadcrumbs that they laid to get us there. So I appreciate that I mean, if you're really watching it, like they're doing a really good job of putting that out there for you. So That's what I enjoyed. What didn't you like?
Well, we had an electrocuted microphone again. You know how I feel about the
Oh
electrocuted
no.
microphones. So now, granted, no one died, and it was,
Oh,
rescuing there, which I said I liked her rescuing Brooke from it, but I don't need to see another electrocuted microphone again. I also, like you say, you watched 3 times. I watched it twice, and I still don't get when she said that Adam came over and she grabbed the first thing to club him over the head. Why is an tire iron anywhere but inside of a trunk? So I don't
that's a
know
good
why a
question.
tire iron would be handy, right? You
I
could
don't
be
even know where one
anything else.
is in my house or in my car. I don't know where it would
It's
be.
it's like tied up with your jack with the
I don't
spare
even know
tire.
where my spare tire is.
I hope you don't get a flat tire.
Gosh, Eric, no, oh,
And so like that was just kind of a weird thing. It didn't quite make sense, but it was, at the end of the day, whatever. Just clubbed him over the head. She obviously has an anger issue because she didn't say she didn't really want to kill him. She just wanted to bleach the car up, and then as soon as he shows up, she immediately kills the guy. So I, I'm glad I was not around to aggravate her because who knows what, if I missed the high C of that in that solo, she may come over and clobber me in the head. I don't know. But I love me some Sarah Drew. She nails it as Emily. She is a complete badass. But when she's in the car trying to talk all whatever, intimidating to him, her voice just didn't come across as like scary and mean to me. She just, whatever. Once again, when we are looking at what we didn't like and how petty we are, petty, total petty issues, right? I just think they could have probably had her be in a different way of doing it. But at the end of the day, it served its purpose, what it was supposed to do. So, fine. But I think if she would have done it to me, I'd have been like, what are you talking about? Kind of thing. So I wouldn't have been scared and returned the key. What about you?
Well, I didn't have anything that I didn't like. And I do want to jump right into the standout scene or performance because my standout scene or performance was when Emily jumped the high school kid in the car.
You have to admit her voice was not super threatening.
I thought it was a shocking scene for a Hallmark series. I was like, oh
I
my
agree.
God. Like, whoa, like she's trying to scare him. I mean, obviously scare him straight. And it gave us a glimpse into her past. I guess I didn't really, I mean, if I was if I was ever think about doing that, I guess that's how I would throw my voice. I don't know. I've never thought about that, but um I don't know. I didn't mind it, I guess. I thought it was fine and I watched again. I saw that scene 3 times and never once thought her voice sounds funny. So that was
It's
my
just
favorite
it's not
scene. What
funny.
can I
It's just
say?
not overly threatening.
I love how like now I think 2 times in a row you said something you didn't like, and that's my standout scene 2 weeks in a row.
Well, what I don't like is how you got the standout scene completely wrong.
Which one did you pick? The
It can be
vulnerable?
no other than the final scene with Sam and Emily
Yeah,
in that talk,
yeah.
right? You you,
I mean,
you said it
that was my
earlier.
honorable mention. That was my honorable mention.
You said it earlier. We needed it. It was that thing of Emily. She's got her big walls that she's keeping. She's trying to maintain it, and she all of a sudden allows herself to be vulnerable. And I thought it was really touching. And while maybe she doesn't have the best, most intimidating voice, she was amazing in that scene. The vulnerability in her little speech about, Christmas and why she loves it so much with her parents and all that. It was fantastic. And then just the hug together, just that scene, amazing, amazing. And then just to flip to where it's like you go from that upstairs to the ominous message from, her nemesis, evil nemesis. Great, you know, just jump from one to the other. But the correct answer for standout scene is that one.
That was honorable mention for me. What can I say?
Like I say, you can be wrong.
No,
Yours
it's
could
my
be an honorable
opinion. It's
in
my
the car can be an
opinion,
honorable
Eric.
mention.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, what are we hoping is coming in future episodes or series? So personally, I guess for me, I'm wondering what since we've had the choir and we had the tree farm, I want to know what is the theme? Like, is it going to be in Sue's diner? You know, because we have a lot of Sue in her diner. Maybe there's something going to be happening there. Are we going to get another undisclosed thing that we haven't met yet and meet even more townspeople? So I think that would be kind of. I'm excited to see where they take us, or maybe Ray's Furniture Emporium.
Well,
Oh,
since I did talk to Peter Mooney and it was in
Oh
our
no.
podcast on Tuesday, as
Well, I
well
guess as this
as
is airing, we will know. So,
correct. There is like an escape room type thing. Both Sierra
oh,
and Peter both said it was their favorite of the three mysteries. So
ooh,
what we have to look forward to, we are this excited and gaga over the first two, and the best is coming. I think
that's
we are in
exciting.
for, and the escape room idea too. Like, I don't know if he was being literal or kind of figurative, but either way, he, he obviously listened to the podcast and we'll know, right? If from Tuesday, but I'm excited that that's where it's it's going. I think it's going to be a great mystery, and the fact he teased it and Sierra as well backed him up as the best of the
Sweet.
three.
That's exciting. Well, what are you looking forward to then?
I just told you
Oh,
that
that's what you're looking forward
it's
to.
the best of the that they've said it's the best of the three, and our bar is so high. I'm just excited to see how it could be even higher. As you know, like I literally wake up first thing in the morning,
3
roll
a.m.
over, grab my iPad, and hit play, so I can get going. I by the time I was done with breakfast, I watched both Mistletoe and Holidays, and uh, like that's how good this programming is.
Well, final thoughts on this episode. For me, I guess it's kind of also looking forward to is remember my Hallmark trivia. I had said that Sarah Drew trained like 3 hours a day for a fight scene. So we have not seen that fight scene yet. So obviously, hopefully, that's probably coming in the next two episodes. So I'm excited to kind of see that and see where we're going. Because I mean, unless they cut it from the first four episodes, I don't know where she would have had a fight scene in any of these. So that's something I'm looking forward to.
Well,
I don't think they would have. I mean,
no, she didn't have one in the barn. I was thinking in the barn she did, but she
I wasn't.
didn't.
No,
The horse
and this
conked the guy out.
the seat belt wouldn't. You wouldn't need to train 3 hours for that.
But I will say one of my things is I like when people are running, they look like they actually are athletic and know how to run. And when she chased down the kid after breaking into the thing, she definitely showed she's athletic. So she's believable as being an ex-spy, whatever she is, because she clearly is an athletic person. So I hate when they are in a movie like that and they show them and then they look like Phoebe from Friends running or something like that. And you're like, okay, yeah, right. So my
Oh,
final thought was what a cliffhanger. What a freaking cliffhanger that was to get that message. So I just can't literally I was like angry that we have to wait a week because I'm like, I am
so
ready. I am
impatient. So
ready.
impatient. Oh, well. Do you have any trivia for us this
I
week?
do.
All right.
Raven Dowda. I don't know. Think that's how you pronounce her last name. That's who played Debbie, the
Okay.
singer who tries getting killed twice. She is also in the Audible version of Mistletoe as a character,
Mm,
and she also plays the captain in Last Case or Monk's Last Case, which we talked about.
she was the cat. Huh. Now I feel like I need to go and watch that or like see
Now,
see
I
a still
don't
shot of her.
remember, is there like
Huh.
if there's
I do
more than
remember.
one, she was Captain Lisa
Yeah, I think she was the
Rudner,
one who, yeah, she was the main captain that
which I
after
assume that's who
Stoudemire.
she was. I don't remember, like I say, I
Cool,
only watched it once, so, but
cool. That's
yeah.
fun. Well, that's going to be more on track than my. So I haven't brought up Murder She Wrote. So you know what? I thought I discovered a Murder She Wrote fact that I didn't know. And I have my Murder She Wrote mug that you gave me. So I'm going to share a Murder She Wrote fact. Did you know that Donna and Grady, so Donna and Grady, so Grady was Jessica Fletcher's nephew, they were married actually in real life. And Donna's last episode, which was season 6, episode 21, she was pregnant in it. She actually gave birth in real life 6 weeks after she filmed that episode. So I discovered that because, of course, I'm a member of different, Facebook groups that have Murder She Wrote. And I was like, wow, I did not know that. That is great trivia. And I have nothing left to share about Mistletoe Murder. So I thought I would share some Murder She Wrote for my fellow Murder She Wrote lovers.
I was expecting it to be at least like some
Sometime,
choir,
nothing.
missile, whatever Murder She Wrote
Absolutely
choirs thing.
nothing to
I
do
did
with
not
this
realize it was going to
episode.
be something completely random about two characters that nobody knows who they are.
Connecting to Fletcher's Grove,
Right.
Jessica Fletcher's nephew. There's my connection. It's also a great episode. Jessica's like stuck in bed and has to like tell people what to do. Or maybe
Be
she was
much
busy.
better if there was like a murdering choir. Is there not no choir?
There are. I mean, I didn't do a connection because we haven't been doing that
Yeah.
theme, but I could have pulled that
But
in there.
you could at least use a trivia from one of those ones, so all right.
I could have. I could have tried, but I just did. I didn't know that, and so I thought that was something fun for others to now know. Now, Fan Corner. I don't really have much. I just had people enjoy it. I did have my first person who said it wasn't her favorite, but that's okay.
Really? I've not heard anyone, I mean, maybe not favorite, like, oh, Mystery 101's my favorite, but whatever. Um, I will say I haven't heard anyone give anything negative about it.
Yeah.
And
Shout
once
out to
again,
PB.
wait, is that her?
Yeah.
Of course it is. Oh, fantastic. I think she's just lying to get a rise out of us. She's
Oh.
probably on her fourth viewing of it right now. All right.
Well,
Well,
next week we have another, obviously, Mistletoe Murder recap of episode 5, a recap of all of those Christmas movies. We'll do our best to keep it somewhat brief because there's a ton, and then another interview. So,
right, Sierra Marilyn Rieley, who plays Violet, my favorite character in the podcast version, and loving her in this one. So it's a really fun interview because this is basically her first role in acting. And
oh
she's
wow.
talks about, going from essentially just trying to get her break and then having her break be this. Fascinating, fascinating story. It's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you, Eric.
Until next time, tune in to Eric Rutan's financial advice, and we will go on that note.
Or get a library card.
Good night, Andrea.
Good night.